I've been making videos for a minute now. It's been exciting, quite fun, messy, painful at times, but rewarding. Wow. There is this high you get when you make something beautiful. Can't explain it with words. It's awesome. Anyway, in this video I'll tell you all the best tips and tricks I've learned in the past 7 years. We're about to cover a lot of cool stuff today. Are you ready? Let's get it. The word cinematic gets a bad rap these days. I get it, it's overused. But hey, anything can be cinematic. It's subjective, of course. To me, something is cinematic when the experience feels as real as possible. Details that invite the viewer to your reality, an intimate moment. Doesn't matter if it's scripted or not, if it moves you, bingo. I won't. It's not only the pictures, but a combination of light, color, composition, sound design, story that produce that feeling. Our job as content creators is to know the technical aspects of the craft, but also have good taste to produce beautiful images. Now, good taste is not something you're born with, but it's something you can develop and refine. When I look at the pictures I was making 5 years ago, I think, horrible taste. But it has evolved and it will continue to evolve. So consume from the best. Be curious, always be curious, never stop learning, practice a lot, get obsessed over quality, and repeat. That's how you refine your taste and your craft. Feel good today. Alright, to make videos you're gonna need gear, of course. First off, the camera. These days iPhones do a great job, so I'm not gonna tell you need the most expensive camera. However, if you are investing, look for a camera that has a great dynamic range. A camera that does a great job at retaining highlights and shadows. That's the only thing that's really important to me. If you're not planning to hire a cameraman every time you film yourself, let's face it, if you're watching this, can't afford that, dude. You're gonna need a tripod. Any tripod will do the job, but if you get a crappy one, you're gonna hate your life. So buy one that's sturdy and comfortable to work with. Good quality lights. Natural light works, but if you want to shape and control the light in your scenes, at some point you're gonna need artificial light. My advice: invest in good quality lighting from the very beginning. It will transform the look of your videos. And audio gear. Also very important to record your voiceovers, yourself talking to the camera, or sound effects. An iPhone will do the trick, but a good mic is also one of the best investments at the beginning of your creator journey. That's all you need. Light is everything when it comes to creating a cinematic picture. Do you need artificial light? Yes and no. Hear me out. The Revenant was shot almost entirely with nothing but natural light. Impressive, right? Truth is, windows are your friend. Don't try to block all the natural light in your scenes because they will look unnatural. If you're just starting out, embrace natural light, because there will be many times when creating videos that you won't have control over your surroundings, so it's important to learn to work with it. Now, when you add artificial lights to the mix, the results can be incredible. As someone making pictures, your job is to recreate what you see with your eyes. So every time you design your scenes, the first question is, where is the light coming from? Is it coming from a window, a lamp, a candle, screens? If it's coming from the window, then of course that's gonna be the most prominent light in the room. That's your motivation. Follow the same direction with your artificial lights. That's it. You can add more sources to your scenes and get very creative with lighting, but the principle is always the same. Recreate what you see with your eyes. Ask yourself, why am I adding this light here and where is the light coming from? Wow. This looks like a movie. Hell yeah! One mistake I used to do all the time was pointing the camera to the bright side of the image. Don't do that. Embrace the shadows to create depth. Images that are pleasing to look at follow composition techniques. The rule of thirds, symmetry, depth, leading lines, frame within the frame. There are many, but don't overcomplicate yourself. Just think about where you want your viewers to look at when watching your videos and try to place your character or object of interest there, usually along the grid lines or intersections. The more you do it, the more intuitive the process of framing your shots. If you want your images to look three-dimensional, you want your viewers to feel like they can see through the screen, then you need to add depth to your scenes. How to do it? Use light to separate the subject from the background. Embrace the shadows as mentioned before. Use layers and distance. If you're too close to your walls, your images are gonna look flat and boring. No, please, anything but boring. A nice combo to stack your shots is to have a little bit of foreground and object very close to the lens, the middle ground element in focus, which in this shot is me talking to the camera, and the background out of focus. The further away your background is from you, the more out of focus is going to look. It doesn't have to be extremely blurry, but try to create distance to have that three-dimensional look. Coverage. Not gonna lie, filming can be hard. It is the hardest for me because I shoot everything by myself. I am a one-man band, but as long as you have a tripod, you'll be fine. It will take time, it can be stressful, but it's worth it because you'll have more room to play in the edit. Also, think about the viewer and your movie. The more coverage, the more immersive the experience. As a rule of thumb, you should get at least 3 shots. A wide shot to give context of where your character is, a medium wide getting closer to the action, and a close-up, the detail shot. Be intentional about your shots. Get as many angles and shots as you can because again you'll have more room to play in post and the edit will be more fun. I've been using Loupedeck's live console to edit my videos for a while now and it's been a game changer. This little device is a powerful console for streaming, photo and video editing, music production, design and general system control that makes it ideal for any desk setup. It has dials, touch buttons with feedback so you feel the vibration when you press, and physical buttons as well. The console comes with a set of default profiles so you can start using it right away and you can customize it however you want. I have it set with the apps I use the most for quick access like Notion, YouTube, Mail, and of course all my work apps. One thing I like about the app is the dynamic mode feature, switching profiles automatically based on the active application. So if I open Lightroom for example, it automatically switches to my photo editing profile. Then if I close or minimize the window, it switches back to my home profile. The best feature is of course the quick access to all your editing tools and more timeline control for editing freaks. Hell yeah! So for example, in Premiere Pro, the software I use for editing, there is a workspace for every stage of my edit. For cutting or editing, I have my dials set to video and audio height, horizontal scroll, zoom, add edit when I press the dial, the audio workspace with different buttons, this dial set to move my keyframes horizontally, and this one for volume. So much more control to design the sound of your videos. As a side note, if you're not watching my videos with a headset, you are not getting the real deal, dude. I love that you can feel the feedback from the dials, little knobs. It is great for color grading, tweaking exposure, highlights, shadows, whites, blacks, and each and every color with great precision. All in all, this console is a great addition to speed up my workflow, and it's more fun to edit videos this way because it feels like a video game. If you're interested in getting it, you can use my link in the video description. I'll leave all the information down there. Thank you Loupedeck for sponsoring this video. I feel like I've said everything is the most important thing of your video up until now, but music is really important. Don't leave it till the end. Spend most of your time listening to music, the same track over and over and over again. I promise when you do this exercise, something in your brain clicks. I don't know how to explain it, but when you find the right track for your video, everything else happens in autopilot. I started using MusicBed for my videos because music is something that I really want to improve, so I need the best music in the game, and I gotta say I'm impressed. They have great stuff there. Alright, when I'm sketching or writing my scenes, I always ask myself, what's the mood here? What sound do I need? What's the story that I'm trying to tell? What's the feeling that I want you to feel when you watch my video? Is it dark? Melancholic? Eccentric? Happy? Sad? When music meets the moving image, trust me, not only you can hear the difference, you can feel the difference. Goosebumps and shit. And it happens before the edit. So again, spend a lot of time listening to music and be very intentional with your selection because it is what sets the pace and rhythm of your video. None of the information I've covered up until this point matters if there is no story. Everything is important, but story is king. Doesn't matter if you make the most beautiful images, if there is no story, your video sucks. Triple sucks. You want to create emotion and rhythm. A good place to start is to try and show, don't tell. Ask yourself, how can I describe something with images without saying a word? Hit them in the gut, make them think. That's what people remember most, the mark of great storytelling. If you're new to storytelling, just keep this simple framework in mind. There has to be a character and setting, ideally introduced at the beginning.
You're playing a dangerous game. Relax, dude. Got plenty of time.
Then you develop your story further, building on the intro with more details.
Hello?
Hey, Robert.
Oh, hey, boss.
Just checking in.
Then you introduce tension.
The thing about ideas is they never come to you when you're distracted. You need to pause, let your brain process information. You need to be bored alone.
Scary place.
This again. And then the character overcomes conflict and brings closure.
You got this, dude.
Of course, not every story is the same. Storytelling is much more complex, but this is a good starting point. Keep in mind, same as music, all of this is done before you start filming. It's a lot of planning, but trust me, it's worth it. Editing is a rhythm game. It's like stacking Legos in the right place at the right time to support the story you're trying to tell. We all have different styles. Mine is not the right one or the best, but it is the one that works for me. I like to edit to the beats of the music, and I like to cut before the action.
Hello?
Hey, Robert.
Clean cuts. Don't use transitions. Your reference is the highest form of video. Movies. You never see that in movies. One thing I like to do is stack sound effects before the cut to cue the images that are coming.
Hello?
It's very subtle, but when you hear something before seeing it, it just feels more natural because you anticipate it. Like the sound of a car, or a train, or even dialogue. See? You can record these sounds with a microphone or your iPhone, then play with them in the edit. You can also get creative with sounds that aren't real, like risers, explosions, transitions, ambience. They're fun. Pay attention to your surroundings when filming and take note of the sound. Lots are great, they'll help a lot, but I think it's essential to understand how to get a specific look because the color and tone of your images support the story as well. When editing, same as sound, ask yourself, what's the mood here? What colors do I want to pop in my frame? Is the scene cold, moody, dark? Do I want my picture to feel dramatic, mysterious, or the opposite? Is it a happy, bright scene with warm colors? You can add color in post, but I recommend to add the colors in the scenes using props or lights because it'll look better and it's gonna be way easier to color grade. Experiment with different looks that help convey the emotions your story needs. Word of advice, don't crush your blacks and don't go too overboard with the saturation wheels. I don't know why so many creators are obsessed with extremely dark and saturated pictures. Again, using movies as a reference, they're usually softer both in contrast and color. Aim for your pictures to be easy to the eye. They'll look way better. Color can be difficult, but the more you color grade, the better you get at finding that sweet spot. Alright, if you got until here, you're weird, dude. Or lady. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video inspires you to start creating cool content for the internet. One last tip, take one thing at a time, pace yourself, it's a long-term game, have fun creating, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. There's a lot of traffic, dude. It's because I chose the worst time of the day to do the shit, man.